Mercury enters cheerful, tall tale Sagittarius for 2 months. Why? Because we've got another Mercury retrograde on the menu. So not only do we have one planet changing signs this week, which was Venus, but we have a second, and that's Mercury. So when we see two planets changing signs like that, we know that the energy is shifting up in here. So we've got Mercury shifting into Sagittarius on November 9th or 10th, depending on your time zone. So yeah, we're going to see 2 months of Mercury in Sagittarius. Why? Because we've got yet another Mercury retrograde on the horizon. Hopefully by now you've been watching my videos enough to know that Mercury retrograde doesn't have to be a scary thing. In fact, it can be an opportunity. But I will tell you that Mercury in Sagittarius is kind of a funny energy, and I'm kind of excited. I don't mind this energy at all. I tend to laugh a lot more while Mercury is in Sagittarius. And yes, there are things that can kind of get us in trouble a little bit more with Mercury in Sagittarius, being a little too open-ended, being a little too long-winded, having less of a filter, but that can be tons and tons of fun as well, especially if you're someone who's typically a little bit more demure, a little bit more reserved or tight-lipped. This can be the kind of transit that helps you loosen up a little bit. So it's always a good time on the timeline with Mercury in Sagittarius because people tend to be oversharing and I can't get enough of it. So as I said, we're going to have 2 months of this transit, but let me give you some tea on that because Mercury is actually going to enter Capricorn on the 1st of December, but it's going to retrograde middle of December around the 13th of December at 8 degrees Capricorn. And it's going to retrograde back to 22 degrees Sagittarius, where it will station direct on January 2nd. So we're actually going to see Mercury in Sagittarius until January 14th of 2024. So we're going to be working with this energy for quite a while, even though we will see Mercury kind of dip back into Capricorn at the start of the retrograde there. We're going to be in and out of Mercury and Sag for a while. So as I said, there's a lot of things to love about this transit. People being more open in their shares, people being a little bit more of an open book. There is a lightheartedness with Mercury in Sagittarius. It is playful. It is funny. It is good at telling stories. So it's just sometimes we have trouble getting to the punchline a little bit, but this can be a really great storytelling aspect because Sagittarius just really wants to uplift people with the information, with the story. So yeah, this can be a time where I encourage you, if you feel like letting it rip, sharing something funny, do it. Keep an open mind with this transit. That's another thing, is that Mercury in Sagittarius, even though this is a planet in detriment, it is much less affected by being in detriment because Mercury can take a beating, basically. Mercury doesn't mind being too close to the sun. Mercury still tends to perform well when it's in a place of detriment. So yeah, this is a time of seeking, adventuring, going down random rabbit holes that might not produce you the kind of information you were looking for, but you're able to kind of make the pieces fit. That can be something with Mercury in Sagittarius. This might not be the best for number crunching necessarily or editing, but it's really great for gathering data and making meaning. So yeah, Mercury in Sagittarius just wants to know, was it funny? Was it sad? What was the big takeaway here? So yeah, not the best for being detail specific, but really great for getting an elevated, getting a boost up basically. So we want to be careful though, because as much fun as this transit can be, you want to be careful that you don't overshare or you don't share someone else's share. You don't share someone else's information. this can be the kind of transit where you see a lot of dialogue, especially in astrological spaces, of people taking liberties or people not citing their work necessarily, kind of taking information as if it was their own. And that's a wonderful thing about our communities. We all kind of get to influence one another and share ideas, and that sometimes the sharing of ideas does produce an original idea. And we can't just source everything all the time. But, if it's a very specific thing attributed to someone else, you should probably cite it. So yeah, pay attention to where the Sagittarius house in your chart is, as well as the Capricorn house, because that's where we're going to see the retrograde happen. Retrogrades are opportunities to redo things, to revamp, to revisit, to reconsider, to, as a planet like Mercury typically moves really fast. So a retrograde is a chance to settle in deeper, to go a little deeper, to question your findings a little bit more, to get more information, to reconfigure your stance on something or your understanding of something. So yeah, this can be an opportunity. Look at your Capricorn house. Look at your Sagittarius house. Look at the planets between 8 degrees Capricorn and 22 degrees Sagittarius, because this is where you're going to feel this Mercury retrograde the most. And those planets, if you have planets between those degrees, Mercury's going to be talking to those. And so you want to just take a look at what's going on in your chart. If you don't know how to do that, my books are open. We can definitely connect. But yeah, so this should be a good time. I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope that you are too. And that was your Mercury retrograde preview, Mercury in Sagittarius astrology shot of the day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye. One last little caveat with Mercury in Sagittarius is not only do you need to be careful about what's coming out of your mouth, but you need to be careful about what you hear, because this is the kind of aspect that gives people the courage to tell a tall tale. And especially when Mercury gets into that square with Neptune, do we really have to be careful about where the truth really lies? A lot of times with Mercury and Sagittarius, we're getting some version of the truth. It's not entirely pulled out of someone's ass, but sometimes it is, especially with that square to Neptune. So that's where the details kind of get fuzzy a little bit. And so you just want to have a little extra discernment around this aspect, around how much of this is the full truth. Thanks so much for tuning in with me today. For a deeper look at how the planets are lighting up your life, you can book your next astrology reading with me, and we'll take a deeper look at your progressions, your perfections, your solar returns, so that you can go forward with a greater deal of confidence and preparedness about what lies ahead. I look forward to connecting with you, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.